We are a solution to help you turn your static Shopify site into a dynamic conversion machine. We're a software as a service platform built on top of Shopify that helps you to create and A/B test your e-commerce websites and ultimately increase your conversion by 23%. The goal here is to really help you increase your conversion without the need for getting your developers involved, and really take back the ability to be self-sufficient on your site. Over 1,000 Shopify merchants use Because today, like Tom Brady's brand TB12, Sanrio's Hello Kitty, Duke Cannon, Ashland, and Chomps. So you are definitely in good company if you decide to give us a try. Here's what we believe. We believe that each site visitor should have a unique experience on site based off of the first-party data that you already have available to you in your current tech stack, whether that be Klaviyo, Attentive, Recharge, Skio, Stay, Loyalty Line, Yapo, Smile, Octane, and obviously Shopify. Our solution is totally no code, which means you do not need your developer ever. And we're completely connected into your data. We're plugged into your first-party data in a seamless editor and rules engine experience that allows you to change text and image-based content throughout your entire e-commerce site, from your homepage to your collection page to your product page and into your cart. We support both slide out cart as well as full screen cart, and seamlessly integrate into the Rebuy Smart Cart. The ultimate goal is to show the highest converting possible messaging across badges, banners, bars, images, text blocks, essentially any text or image-based content across your e-commerce site. With all of that content, you can power dozens of different use cases across promotions, offers, dynamic shipping, reviews, unique selling points, low stock and urgency, cross-sells, upsells, bundles, BOGOs, gift with purchase. There's so many acronyms in e-commerce, but all the acronyms and more, all with all of your own defined roles. I'll show you examples as I continue the next couple of minutes here of every single type of content we support and what this all looks like on all of these sites. But ultimately, we support that entire pre-purchase journey, all of your text and image-based content, and we use all the data you already have available to you to do it. When I say we, I mean you, because it is all easy to use on your own and you do not need to get a developer or a designer involved. Our rules engine powers a broad set of data types, including cart data, like the dollar value of the cart as your site visitor is moving around and shopping, the contents of the cart, UTM data to detect things like source of if they're coming from social or influencers, ads or affiliates. We detect geolocation for things like countries and states. And we also integrate directly into Klaviyo to be able to detect site visitor campaign and flow based off of cookie. I'll chat more about that in a second. If you are using a different ESP than Klaviyo, we do have the ability to integrate via UTM parameters. We do also have future integrations coming to more ESPs soon. This is an example of our user-defined rules engine. So this is probably familiar to something you've used in the past on other rules engines. It's an if this, then that type of experience. I like to say it's like you're playing Mad Libs. So if you remember playing Mad Libs as a kid, where you just kind of fill in the blanks to create a sentence, the same concept goes here, where you can show content on your site, like a banner or a badge, based off if the rules are true. So you basically just fill in your rules to say, like, the banner will show if the Klaviyo segment is, and then you select from a drop-down menu of all of your Klaviyo segments. You can also incorporate all of your other data here, like product data, tags and collections, cart data, site visitor data, all of it together into one rules engine. I'm going to walk you through all of the examples of each of our rule types and some of the use cases that merchants are using for each of these rule types today. So on the product rule type classification, we have all of the data coming directly from Shopify. We're integrated into your Shopify data around product tags, collections, inventory stock, product description keywords. So we can even go down to the keywords in your description to be able to target products. We integrate into weight if that's relevant, vendor name, SKU, all of the above. Inventory stock, of course, for being able to drive like urgency messaging throughout your site. Now let's go through a few examples of content that's powered based off all this product data. So one of the really popular use cases is displaying reviews on your product page based off of product tag or collection. These are dynamic reviews that will change across different products. So for example, you could display a review across an entire set of products in a collection. You could display a review across an entire set of products based off product tag. The goal here is to really be able to get more strategic around which review you're highlighting above the fold on your product page so that your site visitors have what they need to make their purchase decision. The other key goal here is to give you data on how all this is performing so you can A/B test different reviews against each other, see which copy is most effective, and A/B test against a blank control group in order to see if you are driving incremental lift from adding the review to your product page. The next example I have for you is around cross-sells. So you can cross-sell and upsell products across all of your pages of the site. This is just an example for your product page. You can do more of like a text-based cross-sell where you're just hyperlinking over to a product page. You could also do more of an image-based cross-sell where you have the image of the product and you're either hyperlinking them over to that other page, or you just have an add to cart button to go ahead and add that item to cart right from that page. The goal here is to give you the ability to add more messaging around which cross-sells and upsells might be most relevant for the product that site visitor is on. So rather than traditional upsells and cross-sells that literally just have the name of the product, the price, and add to cart, you have the ability to actually incorporate more messaging into that experience to educate site visitors on which products pair well together, share specifications of whether the product fits the right size if you're trying to pair them together. Really just try to like get them across the finish line around messaging that will really help them to understand which products actually do go together versus just like randomly suggesting products. The other cool part about our upsells and cross-sells is that these are all powered by you and your data. So this isn't some random algorithm that is wrong most of the time. This is actually powered by you and your data, powered by your marketing team to provide the most relevant upsells and cross-sells possible. The next example I have for you is around badges. So this also uses all of your product data. We can support badges on your collection page. You can also do this on your product page to really be able to call out important features about your product. Things like if it's a staff pick, or if you want to call out that it's new or low stock, selling fast, any type of experiment that you want to do around badging. The goal here is to take over your static badges that you would typically use inside of your theme and make this a more dynamic experience that is powered by all of your product data. These are all A/B testable, so you can actually understand how they're performing, and they're super customizable. So inside of our editor, which is kind of like a Canva experience, you can edit all of the ideas around design, copy, colors, even the shape to really get it looking and feeling how you'd like rather than feeling limited inside of your Shopify theme. The next set of data we have available is all of our site visitor data. So we have site visitor data associated with geolocation, UTM parameters, new site visitors, like how many times that they've been back to the site. And you can use all of this to power a number of different content types based off of data about your site visitors. The first example I have for you is around UTM-based campaigns. So this is an example on Chomps where they had a influencer on social media sending site visitors to their site. They have a UTM in their URL and they're detecting where they're coming from. Here, you can actually personalize the page that the site visitor is landing on to feel like a connected experience. So rather than that influencer sending a site visitor to just your normal site or even to like a custom built landing page, instead what you're doing is you're sending them to your product pages and collection pages that already exist on your site, but you're taking that content over and making it personalized to that site visitor based off that UTM parameter. So if we detect that they have that UTM parameter in their URL, we will personalize that experience. This one has an example of actually the picture of the influencer, so you can kind of like tell that you're in the right place. You can also use all of our UTM-based rules in order to do image testing. So if you wanted to set up an image on your like homepage hero or on your product page that's associated with the ad that the site visitor is arriving from or social campaign they're arriving from, you can actually adapt the image that the site visitor is seeing to make it more connected to where they're coming from. We can also do geolocation targeting. So this is really popular for any shipping messaging. If you have different shipping to different audiences based off either state or country, you can use our geolocation targeting to tell the site visitor how long shipping might take, shipping estimates, shipping cutoff dates, especially around the holidays, which is what Hello Kitty Sanrio did here. You can also do this based off of shipping cost if there are different shipping costs between, like, let's say the US and EU. The next rule type is our cart rule. So we have access to all of the information about your site visitor's cart. As they're moving throughout their shopping experience, we can use all of this data to power different types of dynamic content across your site. We have access to what products are in cart, the dollar value of the cart, currency of cart, number of items in cart, as well as bundles. And we can use all of this data to power a number of different content types. The first example I have for you here is upsells to unlock free shipping. So for example, this would be detecting the dollar amount that is in the cart or whatever other currency you're working in, and tell the site visitor how close they are to unlocking free shipping, even tell them what item to add to cart to unlock. So let's say that your free shipping is $100, they're $25 away. You want to try to push them to a product that's around that range to help them cross the finish line, rather than just saying, you're X dollars away from free shipping. Let's actually give the site visitor what they need to cross that threshold. The next example is all of our rules-based data for all of the integrated data that's coming from the rest of your tech stack. So I already mentioned we do integrate into the Rebuy Smart Cart. So if you do have the Smart Cart, we seamlessly integrate into that. We do also integrate into ESPs like Klaviyo and Attentive, loyalty platforms like Loyalty Lion and Yotpo, and then also subscription platforms like Recharge, Stay, Skio, all the above, and then obviously Octane on the quiz side. All of this data today is being powered via either UTM parameters or via our Klaviyo integration. UTM parameters allows us to detect whatever source that site visitor is coming from. So for example, if they're coming from an email campaign or an SMS campaign, continue that campaign onto the site. For Klaviyo data, this is extremely powerful because we're actually using the Klaviyo cookie on site to identify who the site visitor is without them being logged in and without them being part of an email campaign. So anyone comes to your site, as long as they have an active Klaviyo cookie, we know who they are, and we can then tap into Klaviyo segments, campaigns, and flows to be able to serve them the appropriate messaging across site. This is definitely one of our most unique offerings, and we're the only personalization platform that actually does support this today. Across all of the Klaviyo segments, here's a ton of examples of types of Klaviyo segments you could use across never purchased. So anyone that's coming to your site that is subscribed to your newsletter but is not yet a purchaser, they might want to see their welcome discount code surfaced on site. That's definitely an option. Anyone that's abandoned cart recently to be able to drive an urgency message, knowing whether they are or are not a subscriber to your email or SMS list to prompt a sign up. We've actually seen that our email signups that are done through more embedded content on your site rather than pop-up content drive a much higher opt-in rate. So one of our customers recently drove a 67% opt-in rate on one of their welcome signups in a top bar on site that was only targeted to site visitors who are not yet signed up for the newsletter. We can also personalize based off of loyalty data. So if you have any segments inside of Klaviyo of what tier the site visitor is on, so let's say like silver tier, gold tier, platinum tier, when a site visitor comes to site, we can tell what tier they're on, and we can then personalize the entire on-site experience according to their loyalty. So if they are part of the loyalty program, let's tell them like, welcome back, silver member. If they're not part of the loyalty program, let's prompt them to go ahead and sign in or sign up for it. And then we could even prompt them to sign in before they check out. We can also use quiz data. So if you have quiz data about your site visitors' preferences, we can use that data to then drive personalized experiences on site, whether that be like a badge on your collection page that says picked for you, whether that be a recommendation in cart based off what products might be most relevant to them, or even using that data to change imagery. So let's say like we know their skin type and we want to change the imagery on site to be associated with their skin type. So here's some visual examples of all of this. This is the example of that welcome offer to a never purchase segment. So being able to really surface that welcome offer so that they can take advantage of it versus making them go back in their email to remember what that code was. We can also do dynamic promotions. This is a really cool way to optimize for profitability. So if a site visitor is coming to site and let's say they do or do not need a discount, maybe they're a loyal customer, they were planning on purchasing anyways, maybe you don't give them a discount, maybe a brand new site visitor does need a higher discount, they're more unfamiliar with your brand, you can actually do targeted discounts and offers to different segments. This is really popular during times like Black Friday, where you don't want to run a site-wide sale to everyone. You want to do more tiered discounts based off of different types of site visitors. That is something you can do with Because. We can also do that welcome sign up I talked about that has a 67% opt-in rate. So being able to really surface the welcome sign up a little bit later in the customer journey. So the site visitor's already X'd out of the pop-up. They're wishing that they could bring the pop-up back to get that welcome code and go ahead and sign up. This is an option of a more embedded experience in a top bar or a banner on, let's say, the collection page or the product page to continue pushing the site visitor to sign up for the newsletter. We can also do personalization based off subscription. So if you're using Recharge or Skio or Stay, you can use all of that data inside of Klaviyo to set up segments, and then you can show messaging on site based off of those segments. So you could say like, I want to show this if the site visitor is an active subscriber to get them to go ahead and log in. If they're not an active subscriber, maybe we show the prompts throughout site to tell them about the discounts and benefits of actually becoming a subscriber. The last example I have for you here is around loyalty. So if a site visitor is coming to site and they are part of the loyalty tier, go ahead and tell them, welcome back, silver member, maybe even like talk about their points threshold and really get them to move to log in and just drive more of that retention with those repeat customers. The last example here is around Klaviyo flows and campaigns. So you can integrate into Klaviyo welcome flows, abandoned cart flows. If someone's coming on site from, let's say, an abandoned cart flow, you could show them an urgency message to say items in your cart are selling fast. This one, for example, drove a 19% conversion increase and almost a full 2% point increase on conversion rate. So just a simple message based on abandoned cart flow that drove maximum impact. Klaviyo campaigns, you can continue the messaging from a Klaviyo campaign onto site. So if a site visitor is coming from like a sale or a new product launch, you can continue that messaging straight onto the page that they're landing on. So let's say that you sent out an email about your Christmas in July campaign. When they get on site, you can continue that messaging, maybe even surface the discount code to go ahead and get them to convert.